Alright boys and girls, welcome back to another Evercrisis video. So, we're going to be talking a little bit about something that's been on my chest, it's been bothering me, so I figured I'm going to say what I feel and how I feel. And I don't want you guys to take this personal. This is not geared or, targeting anybody specifically. But it's just I think it needs to be something that I need to address. So, if you were a content creator for this game, it's not easy being a content creator for this game. You guys know this already, right? For many reasons. And I'm going to talk about two different things. This and the whole Sephiroth crash thing. So the first thing is the content creator part. First off, you guys know there's a lot of content creators who do Final Fantasy Evercrisis stuff. Some of us are bigger, some of us are smaller. Nonetheless, we all sit in the same boat. Content-wise, there really isn't much content to really cover at the moment in EC because the game is designed to be very grindy, and also the constant steady flow of events that come out are very easy and quick to do, right? Outside of that, a lot of the other content stuff used to be newsworthy, but now it's really not as much anymore, and that's fine. It's not a bad thing. So as a content creator, it comes down to a few different things. Opinionated pieces, summoning videos, which obviously is big, and then of course guides, right? Now, summoning videos, and I'm going to talk about this, and this is where I'm kind of going with this. We as content creators usually give you guys some form of idea of our thoughts on banners, right? And I'm going to go back to the Final Fantasy IX banner specifically. If you have watched my videos on the Final Fantasy IX banner, you know that I got fairly lucky on some of the polls. I wasn't Smelly Octopus lucky, don't get me wrong. He was insane luck. But I was still fairly lucky enough to get myself an OB2 Zidane sword. Now, when that weapon dropped, myself and the other content creators made it abundantly clear that the Zidane sword was OP. And we had so much flack for that. So much flack for that. I said it was a power creep thing. Now, don't get me wrong. These extra 2 stars are from using blueprints as free to play. I saved all my blueprints for the time that I thought the best weapon for Cloud would ever come out. That's where this is from. So I only got up to the 2 stars. And then these 2 here, if I recall, maybe it's just a 1 star. Maybe I got to 3 stars actually. And then the 1 star extra was from the blueprints. When I had made that video, I made it clear as day that if you are not summoning for this weapon, you're going to miss out. Not only because it had the highest not physical percentage, damage dealing percentage in the game at the time, but it was going to be that for a very long time. Now, people's pushback were straightforward. Ping, you don't know what you're talking about. Element's way better. Elemental weapons are way better. This doesn't make sense. You're giving bad advice because non-elemental weapons have no place in this game. Blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to now. Anytime I make a video with Zidane's sword, I get beat up for it. And this happens to all content creators. We get beat up for it. Because our advice was not sound at the time, but now that everybody realizes how much value a weapon like this brings in any fight, it's now our fault that people didn't summon for it and we have it and they don't. Now, I understand the luck part of it, but that's just the nature of the beast, right? It's a gotcha. I could have been very unlucky and got 1 copy of this and still would have put my blueprints towards it because I think it would have been worth the value. But I got semi-lucky. And yes, some people are luckier than me. Some people are not. Now, those people obviously are not content creators. Some of them are not. And they don't show it. Now, what have I been doing lately? Okay, and again, this is not geared towards anybody, and it's a little bit of a rant on my end because I'm a little annoyed at this whole thing. I've been creating guides with the title, specifically the title, No Final Fantasy 7 Weapons in certain events, right? I've been making those titles. If you go back and watch any of my recent videos that are Final Fantasy related, majority of them will say no Final Fantasy weapons. Like for example, here's one. I'm going to show you guys real quick. Here. Perfect example of one. Right? The EX2 fight for Sephiroth. F2P Sephiroth Reawaken EX2 fight, team setup and guide, no FF9 weapons. In the title and in the thumbnail. So I've been doing a lot of those lately. And it's come down to the point where like I can't fully enjoy my account as a content creator. And I can't put the free-to-play aspect, even though I've never spent a penny, because people get upset that I have things they don't. That's just life. Like, Do you go around telling somebody not to talk about their car or their family or their job just because you don't have it? Is that how that works? No, because at the end of the day, it's not about jealousy. It's not about like, oh, you have this, I don't, so you shouldn't be doing this. I'm just showing you guys methods of getting things done. So I have shown you methods without those weapons, and I'm showing you methods with those weapons. Whether you have it or not, I can't keep. Here's the thing: at the end of the day, I can't keep starting brand new accounts for everybody. It's not going to happen, right? And Smelly isn't going to do it either, and neither are other content creators. We're not just going to keep creating brand new accounts to cater to everybody. When we now we're not the authority on these games. Don't get us wrong. I make mistakes all the time. Smiley makes mistakes. We all make mistakes, right? We're not the authority, but you guys, if you have any form of trust in your content creators, when we tell you guys it's something is worth summoning on, if you don't listen, then I mean, sometimes you're gonna suffer for that, right? And same things with me. Sometimes I'll tell you guys to summon for something and I'll regret it. So, like, you kind of have to understand how the game works, the mechanics of things. So, everything I've done here, I've done with the generosity of the game and some of my luck, right? I've been able to save up diamonds, like I'm back at 32k. All of these things are free summons here that we've got over time. These weapons here, again, it's just a matter of, hey, a lot of people didn't think there was a place for non-elemental weapons, so they didn't summon for it. And now you kind of suffer those consequences. Okay, part one done. So I'm going to continue making content the way I make content. I will be using the sword when I feel like I need to use a sword. In this case, with Crash, it's a very difficult fight, and I wanted to use a sword. Could I do it without the sword? Let me be straight up with you guys. I can 110% do it without the sword. I'm being real with you guys. And the reason why I say that and I'm confident with that is because I could just use my wind team and destroy Sephiroth in that first phase. Literally, I could take out so much. Like, I didn't use Dark Heavens with Sephiroth. I used Edge Wings instead. I could use Dark Heavens. I could use Motor Drive with Tifa, which are fairly high up right now. And I could have completely pummeled him. And I have a 5-star Aurora. So I could have completely pummeled, and Prism Rod as well. So, like, we could have taken him out quickly in Crash 1, but I tried to do it without all the wind weapons because not everybody has those either. And then I feel like that would have also put me at a disadvantage as a content creator. Okay, so part one done. I want to get off my chest, guys. So if you see me using the sword, just understand I'm giving you guys ideas of how to beat content. You don't have to use that sword, right? So, for example, someone like Smelly who has a Murasame garb and has Murasame at almost OB10, I think, maybe. I don't even remember. But OB6 maybe, OB7. Like, I don't have that. But he's able to use it, right? And I can't fault him for that. I missed the garb by one stamp because my account got deleted and I started 3 days later than I was supposed to on my free-to-play account. It happens. So I'm not going to blame the guy. Like, he has it, good for him. He got lucky, and he's beating content with it as a free-to-play player. Doesn't take away from his free-to-play status, and it shouldn't take away from anyone else's. Okay, next thing. And this one is something that's bothering a lot of people. Okay, so Reawaken Sephiroth the Crash. A lot of people are upset that the icon is gone for both. I can understand the frustration. I get it. I'm going to go twofold here, and I'm not going to say that I agree with it or disagree with it. Here's my take from a positive spin perspective on it. The initial Crash that came out is way harder than this current Crash. I can confidently say that. Okay, so that icon that was fought by whales to at that time is well deserved for them. I have the co-op one. I was happy enough with that. The red one did look a little cooler. I'll be real with you guys. That icon is amazing, but personally me, the planet's leader, and this here, the chosen one, titles, are much, much cooler to me. Much, much cooler. And not to mention the fact that we're getting ourselves a buttload of crystals. So it's pretty much a frenzy battle. We got 500 here, 500 here, 500 here, 500 here, I believe, right? That's a lot of free crystals. I will take crystals over an icon that I barely even notice any day. That's my take on that. Now, I'm not a new player though. So for new players, I totally understand where you're coming from for the fact that in co-op, you don't have the opportunity to get the title. That is shitty. There's no ifs or buts around that. That is a shitty feeling because if you do care about profile pics and you do care about icons, the Sephiroth icon is one of the best ones. I still rock mine, to be honest, to this day. And so I understand people's frustration when it comes down to it, right? So there's mine right there, right? The free-to-play, so free-to-pay I get it. I get why you're frustrated, and it's totally reasonable to be frustrated. But for us OG players, I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather take 2,000 crystals or even 1,000 crystals over a profile pic that I already have a green copy of. Just my take on it. So I don't think it's that big of a deal personally. Some of you guys might not agree with that, but hey, again, it's my take. Let me know in the comment sections how you feel. I just need to get those things off my chest because I feel like a lot of this has been happening lately, and it's been making me kind of change the way I play the game. Not necessarily for the better either. I do enjoy playing it. I do enjoy creating content that's challenging, and I have dumbed down a lot of my content in regards to like the weapons that I use in the most recent videos that I've done. But there's some videos that I'm going to use my most powerful weapons because it's needed. It's just plain and clear. A crash is going to require the strongest weapons I have, and that's what I did. So I hope you guys can understand that. Anyways, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.